Hi guys, it's Belle here and I'm back with episode 3 of Finishing It Up Friday, and we're still working on this altered book. I realistically should have just made a whole series of videos on making an altered book. But anyway, this is episode 3 and we're going to be working on the cover this time. So I don't realistically have a plan, but I kind of know what I wanted to do. I've already started trying to see if paint would go on here. So what I want to do to begin with is paint this brown. And I don't mind if some of the red comes through, because in here we have some browns that are more like reddish browns, like autumnal and things like that, and on the mushroom, and even here on this plant you see, so it's like a pinkish browny red. What a great description there. So I've just got some of this cheap paint, and it doesn't even say what color this one is. It's literally just a shade of brown, and it's just plain acrylic paint, and I am going to use some of that on the front, if I can get any paint out, on the front and back covers. But you can see it goes on a lot lighter than it actually ends up looking. It looks a slightly different colour, because obviously once it dries it gets slightly darker and then the red comes through. So I'm just going to paint all of this, and I'm going to kind of not worry too much about the middle, because we're going to be decorating that middle. So yeah, episode 3 of Finishing It Up Friday. And this book still won't be finished. But there you go. I'm going to use my heat gun to just dry this so we can then go on to the back cover. So you can already see that it looks a lot darker than it did when it went on, but you can still see the red coming through. So now I'm going to quickly do the back cover. I'm not doing the spine because I intend to cover the spine. And this one, obviously, we've got to do the whole cover, not just around the edges, because you'll see it all. But yeah. So I hope you're all okay. I know quite a lot of you have been enjoying this kind of Finish Up Friday altered book videos. So I have been thinking of actually doing an altered book from scratch. Although, like I said, this one isn't even finished. I will be putting ephemera in it, and I'm hoping to make possibly a beaded charm dangle for the spine. But yeah, I'll probably do all that off camera and then do a final flip through. Okay, let's get the heat gun again and dry this off. Okay, so I went ahead and did a second coat on both the front and the back. You can see the difference of the original spine. It's still a little bit damp, but not too much. I'm just going to dry my hand. Wash. I'm going to dry it off. I'm going to clean my hands off. Oh dear. Yeah, so I really like that. So that's going to be the base colour, this brown. And then I was thinking, whilst this kind of dries off a bit better, hold up, I'm just going to move this over so it can dry off. Whilst that dries off, I've got this image that I really love. Let's have it the right way around. That I want to put on the cover. So I'm going to kind of tear around the image whilst that's drying. And again, I'm not sure what I want to do. I just know I want to use this image. And yeah, because I love the image and it goes with the journal. And I want it torn because I just thought it would work better with the whole nature theme and grunge theme that I've got going on in the book itself. Yeah, I just absolutely love this image. It's just so beautiful. So I'm going to use some walnut stain on it. So I want it nice and dark, and I like the way the brown's brought in there into the image itself. And then I'm thinking, like that. And then I'm thinking, I kind of want to back it. I've got some of this beautiful handmade paper. You can see all the like grains of wood in there. Thinking I kind of want to back it onto this. I'm not sure this will rip that easily. Let's try and rip the bottom and see. Yeah, see, this is not going to rip easily, so it's going to be really hard to rip the edges and things. I suppose the bottom could be ripped. I think I might just put some walnut stain around this too. Pick out those fibres in the paper, which I really like. Okay, let's see now. Yeah, see, I like that much better now than it being white. I've also got some of this corrugated that was from packaging. Thinking I'm going to use this on the spine. I have some of my rust and eco dyed fabrics, and I also have some moss because I'm thinking about using those. Possibly some book page. I don't know. We're going to find out. Right, I think this is kind of dry now. So I did want this on the front. I'm thinking of putting like the corrugated card as the spine, because I was originally going to put it on the front, but I don't think I want it on the front now. But what I do want is some fabric behind this. So I've got all these sort of eco dyed fabrics, or the remnants. I definitely need more. This is a beautiful one. That'd go really lovely. But then you're not going to see much of the fabric, are you? If I put that like that, you're just going to see a pop of it. So I don't want to use the bit that has like the most design on it, because what's the point if you're not going to see it? Let's see what this looks like. And let's face it, eco dyed fabric is quite sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not treat, but treasure. That's what I'm looking for. So, I mean, I could do it straight. Have it like that. I mean, that is quite nice. Let's try a different fabric. We've got more of a brown one, but I love this one far too much to like, although, wait a minute. Kind of like the colours of that one better. Oh, I do really like the colours of that one a lot better. Is it too orangey though? Okay, let's see if I've got any other scraps that might work. this one. I really think this is, well, that'd work in a for a journal cover, so I'm not going to use that. They're all rust dyed. Got this fun, like, green rust dyed one. Oh, that feels really delicious too. If we had that on there, would it work like with the fabric behind, like so? No, I think I like the fabric behind, and I think it's between this one and this one. So let's put these down. And now this is drier. Now what I want to do is kind of brush on like just the odd hint of green, dry brush, and then I'm going to add a bit of gilding, I think, on there too. So just a little bit of green. And again, this is just a plain acrylic paint. I just want to see how this looks. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter because I can repaint over it if I don't like it. I mean, it's going on quite bright, but it will get darker. And I kind of like how that looks. Oh, excuse me a minute. Sorry, guys, I had to sneeze then. You didn't want to hear that on camera. So, yeah, I'm liking how this... Again, I'm just doing the edges because the middle's going to be covered anyway, and you're only going to see a little bit of this. Dry brushing that on. Let's have a look how I'm feeling. Yep, that gives it just a little pop of something. Okay. Then, whilst we're at it, I'm going to, well, first of all, let's get some more paint. Because whilst we're at it, I'll do the back as well. Come on. Let's get a bit more paint. And it's already getting darker, as you can see. So, and it's already basically dry because this is dry brushing. So, I'm just doing it randomly. Doesn't need to be any rhyme or reason. Again, I'm not doing the spine because I'm going to be covering that up. I kind of like it down the bottom, the green. That's a lot there. Let's just spread that out. So, yeah, not being too careful about it. Kind of want it to look like it's got discoloured from sitting in wet grass or something. Because this has such a fairy overall feel. Oh, there's a lot there. Let's mush that in. And again, it doesn't matter because anything that I find too bright or too green, I can cover with a bit more brown. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah. So I like that. Hopefully you can see. Oh yes, I do. I do like that. Great. So let's move that. I'm going to have to use that green up somewhere. Okay. And then I'm going to dry it. So again, it's now much darker than it was. Hopefully you can see that. It's much darker than it actually, the paint came out as. Seems bright on this side. I think maybe because of the red in the middle. Okay, and then I've just got some of this vintage gold gilding paste by Art Alchemy, by Finnabar. It is on the back, sorry. I love this, I use it a lot. I'm just going to use my finger. And then, because it's got this ridges on the book, I kind of want to pick those up a little bit. And the texture of the book is also, can you see that? It's got that lovely almost linen texture to it. So it really highlights well when you use gilding on it. I just really love this. And this gilding paste dries really quickly too, which is good. Need some down this side because, you know, can you see the shimmer to that? And it just adds that bit of shimmer, that bit of sparkle that just catches the light a little bit. And the great thing is, if I want more, I can add more. Let's add it now to the back. Just rubbing it on randomly again and doing the edges a lot more. Haven't obviously painted on the inside of the book page yet. But, you know, let's just get the cover done first and go from there. Let's really get some on my finger and move over here. Move it in different ways so it doesn't look like a finger smudge. Highlight different areas of it. So you can see it's just all kind of highlighted differently. And I just love how the colours are kind of blending in. There's more gold on the edges rather than the middle. Yeah, and I really love how that looks. And you can still see some of the brown and a light bit of the red coming through. But I've done all the edges here, which actually I need to do on this one. I think I did do them all on this one, but let's just go around it again and do that. I really love how that looks now. Where did my wet wipe go to? There it is. Okay, so now what I think I want to do is actually do the spine first, only because I feel like once we have the spine on, we'll know, like fabric wise and things, what kind of want to do. I'm going to tear this to give it a crinkly edge because it's already got a crinkly edge this side, and I want to see if I can replicate that kind of look on the other side too. See? Still not as crinkly. I might actually put that bit on the other side because there's less decoration on the back. So it gives it a bit of something extra to look at. And then that's going to go round like that because it's quite round, the spine. You've got quite a lot of space. I'm hoping this will work. And then I need to cut it about here. So again, I'm going to rip it rather than trim it because I don't mind it having that feel to it. And I'm going to use, again, some, where's my walnut stain? Some walnut stain on the spine a little bit just to pick up those ridges. I don't want it too dark, but I also don't want it quite as light as it is. I mean, you could gesso it, you could ink it. There's a lot you could do to it. But it just gives it, if I get the other piece now, you can see there's only a slight difference, but it's definitely there. And what I might actually do is also add a tiny bit, I'm making this up as I go along, guys, a tiny bit of black soot, just to grunge it up a bit more. So, yeah. And then we'll see how that looks. We can always do more to it once it is on the spine. Let me just double check before gluing that this will fit. It goes all the way around. Oh, it's a bit long at the top. I could have it so that it's sort of off both bottom and top a little bit to give it a bit of interest. Doesn't always have to match up completely. And let's just put plenty of glue because this spine needs to open and close without this coming off. Well, that's what I'm aiming for. So fingers crossed to that. I might actually have to leave this to dry before we work on the rest of the cover. Where's that wet wipe gone again? Get the glue off my hands. Let's get the book back over, make sure I'm on camera, and then just kind of push it on. Got to be firm. Let's take that bit off, a bit of glue there. To be firm, really, really, really press it down so that it's sticking. Got to get the glue off the bottom bits and off this bit. Really, really pressing down. I'll tell you what as well, this Inca Gold, I really like the aroma of it. So yeah, pressing it down. It's not going to stand up very well unless I like pull these bits out a little bit, but a bit like a tree. Does that make sense, guys? You know when you see a tree standing like that, rip it out a little bit. I like that. Not too much because otherwise it'll just rip. Really pressing, and let's see. So it does still open. Woohoo! It does still open, guys. Obviously it needs to dry a bit more, but I thought we were going to have to wait longer. And you see this kind of ripped edge, the more torn edge on this side, because we're going to have a focal point here, we don't need this to be quite so decorative, but I like the way this is more torn in this side because the back of the book is obviously just going to be left painted. I might even add some gilding onto here. I definitely feel like I need more colour on there, but we will work on that. So that's on there, love it. Might even put some moss on it because I did get the moss out. And then I was going to have this on here. So let's go back to fabric choices. We have this fabric choice, which I really, 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 really like. And then we have this more muted fabric choice, which I also really, really like. So the only way I'm going to be able to decide is I'm going to have to actually cut them to size and then play with them on there. So yeah, what do I want? Which way round do I want it? I like this because it's all curled up there. So we have this one. I don't know how I'm going to put that on there, whether I'm going to have them at angles, quite like that, whether I'm going to have it straight. Quite like that too. So we got that one, and now let's do this one. Making sure I didn't get paint on it. And then let's see where to. Probably about here. Sometimes you just got to be brave and rip into the fabric. Which way round do I want this? I feel like that works quite well, but we'll see. Hopefully that's all on camera. Oh, I've cut that too small. Well, I could try and rip this a bit more on the top, because barely any of that fabric's now showing, which is just not what I wanted. No, that's too small. How absolutely annoying. How absolutely irritating. Let's measure this one this time. Right, that's better. See, we all make mistakes, guys, but we just have to be brave and use the fabric up and then cry about it later when we realised we needed a bigger piece for a different journal. All right. Okay, let's just ink this up so we get a proper kind of representation of what it should be. Okay, so I am liking that more, but I'm feeling like I want it this way round. Like that. Do I like that? Is it too much? Now I'm looking at it thinking it's too... Sorry, guys. See, I feel like that's not enough, but the other one's too much. I think about what kind of colours I might like in here. Okay. Back to this one again, guys. I'm just loving this one. And I think I want to use it. And I think that's what it is. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. And I kind of like it like that now, rather than at all the angles. So I am going to stitch all of these together and I will be back in a minute. Okay guys, so I have stitched around it. So there was an issue, I had to rethread my bobbin and I've obviously not rethreaded it correctly because it's this instead of a proper zigzag. The zigzag's on the other side. But that being said, I actually quite like, threads everywhere, I quite like that effect on here. It works well for this journal, I feel like. And that's, she's going to go on there. I just think that's beautiful. Do you feel like I want a label? I don't know if I've got any labels left. Hold on, guys. That would work. I've got bright gold. I've got this one. That would work. But I think it's the last one, and I don't really want to use it, just in case. But the other option is some flowers. Hold on, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I just grabbed some random flowers and bits, and I have these as well. And I've also got my moss because I wanted to do the moss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually stick this down. But first, I've also got this green ribbon that I was thinking of putting around the book, and it would go underneath like so. So, oh, that's good. Let's just stick this down quickly. Come on. So this is just some bit that I had in my stash. I think it actually came around an Etsy order that I'd picked up. And when I was looking for something to put around this, realistically, it doesn't need a closure, but I rather like closures. So, and then I'm going to stick this down. Again, I don't want glue over the whole thing, but I do want to make sure that the bits that have been stitched on definitely have glue on them, to make sure that they grab to the bit underneath. Perfect. Let's get that stuck down. Oh, I'm really loving this. I'm really loving this book, to be honest. I'm just excited to finish it and work in it. So I've got all these different coloured ones. I did want some moss. I was wondering about putting moss kind of down the spine in places. I think that'll go quite well. But also I want it on the front. I've got these flowers. I mean, this one's massive. That's no. Just no to that. But, you know, this one's not too bad. Obviously, it's not the colours we're using. So let's just grunge it up a little bit. And these have got gold in the middle, which works really well. And then let's add just a touch of black as well, because there's black in the fabric here. And obviously there's black on the image. And these just pick up the colours so well. So that's a bit grungier and works better now on there. I'm thinking, you know, might have another one. So same thing. Use the distressed oxides. These are, oh, I've just lost the wooden bit on that one. So let's take a different one. These would take like watercolors or water really well, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing it all by hand. So yeah, that looks good. And I'm thinking I've got some of these leaves that I absolutely love. I've got this pack, we've got smaller ones in here, and these are just from Hobbycraft. They're leaf embellishments. So I want some smaller ones because these are quite big, and we've got like different sized ones in here. Like smaller ones like this. And you've got them in different colours, like this bright green is quite fun. I've got this one. Yeah, I like that. And then in this flower collection, again, these flowers were from Hobbycraft. And I like their white ones. They do them in different colours, but I like their white ones because then you can... Oh, see now I'm loving how that looks right now. So let's... yes, I am loving it. I'm wondering about adding some gold to this. So let's just do it and see how that turns out. I mean, you're not going to be able to see it brilliantly, but you will see it when you move the book and it catches the light. So do you see that? It just catches the light. Yes, I like it. I'm going to glue that down. Yeah, as I was saying, you can get those flowers from Hobbycraft, I think, in different colours. But I tend to like buying the white ones because it just means, and I'm just doing the spine on this because I want the leaves to be movable. It just kind of means I can turn them into whatever colour I want for whatever project I'm working on, if you buy the white ones. So that looks really cool. There is actually a wire as well. Like, I think I'm adding too much now. But we do have another one of these long leaves. I mean, you could use a die cut. I just have these leaves and I'm thinking, why not use them? Okay, so let's get this one stuck down first. And I'm just going to stick in the middle first because then I've still got room to, come on, maneuver it underneath. I've also got this really cute flower. Gosh darn it. The burlap, which I think kind of really adds as well. Does it? Or to this one? Well, it's too big. Right, we're going to have this on here. So I'm just going to stick that and hold it a minute so that it catches. And like I said, I'll stick the rest down once. Wondering about putting a bit of gold now on this as well, because we've got the gold there but not on here. I don't know how it will look. It just looks a bit grotty. In the light you can see the gold. I don't mind the grotty look. It's grungy and it goes with everything. Let's just wash my hands again. Put the lid back on the gilding paste. See, I'm wondering, I like that flower there now. So I'm glad I didn't stick it down, and then we can put some leaves like around. I like it there rather than here because I feel like it works well there. Let's stick this one down too. And then I'm going to put moss in between things. Yes, nice. And then let's just add a bit of black onto these leaves. It doesn't do much, but it just adds a bit of dimension on the edges. So let's glue these down now, and these can be glued down all the way. That's going to go under there like so. Now these leaves can be glued too. Leave some of it sticking up because I like it. Adds a bit of texture and dimension onto the cover. And then this one is going to go under here. Oh, there we go. It's going to go under there like so. Feel like we need another one, but we're going to add some moss. So that's what that looks like right now, and I'm really loving it. I'm not gluing this to the back. I might glue it to the back cover, but it's quite thin fabric, so I'm worried that the glue will show through, and I don't want that. Okay, there's a mess, and any of you who've watched me for a while know I don't like mess. Okay, and I feel like I just want to add some moss in places. So this is just some craft moss that I picked up from, well, I think this one was from the range actually. And I'm just going to put my tacky glue on and press the moss down, and it can get stuck to your fingers. Let's use my bone folder. I love adding moss to a project. It just again adds that extra something to it. A bit tucked in here underneath the flowers. A bit more kind of over here, feel like. Just push that down, just taking little bits, attaching it. Yeah, now the whole lot's come off. See, that's the problem working with moss though. It gets very messy. You have to make sure it's glued really well. And then you have to let it dry. But yeah, I do love using it in projects. And I'm wondering, see, that just looks so pretty now. I'm thinking about leaving that bit plain. I was thinking about putting a label or something, but I think I just want it plain, to be honest. I'm wondering about adding any more moss. Right, do we want some up here? Let's have a look. Let's put a bit up there and then see what we think. Yes, I do want a bit up there. And that is why you leave the flowers, just stick them down in the middle to begin with, because then you can add things underneath them and then glue the rest of it down after. Right, let go of my fingers, moss. I'm going to glue the petal down now on both sides and then add that on top, which holds that moss in place. And yeah, oh, I'm loving how it looks. So I don't know if I'll add moss on the spine now, or whether I just like the spine as is. I might add some gold. I don't know, I kind of like the spine how it is. And if I'm going to add a charm or anything to it, a dangle, then I don't want too much kind of dangling down. I wish this had been in brown or black thread, but I had cream, so that's what I was using. Let's just see, because you know, normally you do things in threes, don't you? Do I want a flower up there too? See, I just feel like this is fine as it is because of the moss and the other leaf and thing, which again, I'm hoping that shimmer picks up, but you can just pick up the shimmer on the flowers. Stick down. I'm gonna have to hold that for a minute. Yeah, so I think the cover's pretty much done, guys. What do you think? And then that'll tie round like so. Have a little bow like so. And I think the cover is done. Woohoo! I don't know, knowing me, I'll probably add something else on there. But yeah, I think that's turned out really lovely. I love the texture of it all. I love the moss and the fabric and the stitching, the textured paper here, the flowers. It's really thin fabric. The shimmer with the gold and the greens and browns. So I think that's the cover finished, guys. And like I said, I'm pulling that out so that it can sit up and almost look like a tree trunk when standing, if that makes sense. And then this bit comes out the top. I am probably going to have to paint around these bits just because they're very red compared to the rest of the book. But also I don't mind that. So there we go, guys. That is it. The next time you see this journal, I will be doing a flip through because I think that's enough episodes of this for finishing it up Friday. Even though the whole point was to finish projects, and this isn't completely finished because I need to add some ephemera to it. Although I'm not going to add too much ephemera because I'm thinking because I'll use it, I like to make ephemera when I'm using a journal once I know what it's for. So let me know if you've enjoyed this down below, and the next Finish Up Friday we'll be back with something very different and probably something a lot quicker and easier than this was. But I'm super happy that basically every page in this is now complete and the cover's complete. So basically, other than ephemera, it's now a finished journal. Next thing I need is her name. But that's it for now, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've liked what you've seen and haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and check out the other Finish It Up Friday episodes if you haven't already. I will leave those down below where we completed the last few pages in this altered vintage book. And watch out for the flip through, which will be coming at some point in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching, guys. That's all for now, and I will be back again very soon. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are safe, and I hope you're having some crafty fun. Bye, guys.